Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Judge Fishburne. I'm going to conduct the bond hearing today. I want to welcome everyone. We have Agent Trozewski, Agent Fitzgerald, Attorney Mr. Lewis, and the press. So welcome, everyone. Mrs. Hill, will you please state your full name for the record?
Mary Rebecca Hill.
Thank you. Do we have the they on the, okay, I see them. They're back there. I just want to make sure that the agents were there. All right. I'm going to go through the rights and responsibilities. I'll advise you some information, and then at the end, we'll hear from the state and we'll hear from your attorney. Okay? All right. Before I set your bond, I need to advise you some information and make you aware of your rights. You've been charged with 2 counts of misconduct in office and obstructing justice. These penalties for these three, they're common law penalties, so it's at the judge's discretion. However, I can tell you that typically the common law crimes carry possible penalties of 0 to 10 years. Your court date is scheduled for July 18th. 2025 at 9 o'clock at the courthouse at 101 Hampton Street. And do you understand the charges and penalty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And I assume you're familiar with that location. So because this is a general sessions offense, you have a right to a preliminary hearing. This is a hearing that will determine if the prosecution has enough evidence to move forward with the trial. If you wish to have a preliminary hearing, you must request it within 10 days. And I'm going to send that paperwork with your packet for the preliminary hearing. If you'd like to have that, you can go ahead and sign that now, and then we'll get that scheduled. Before you can plead guilty or not guilty or proceed to trial, you need to know you have a right to an attorney. And I see that you have a private attorney here. And am I correct? It's Will Lewis?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You need to know if you were an attorney at any point, you can apply for a public defender. I'm assuming you want to stick with Mr. Lewis at this point.
Sure.
Okay, what I will do, I will send the application in your packet for public defender in case things don't work out and you change your mind. So you will have that application. Okay? All right. Would you please give me a good telephone number? And you know what? I think with the press, we're live streaming. I'm going to get that after, so we don't have that on the live stream. Okay? And I'll check with your address with that as well. You do need to know you keep your address and phone number updated with the court. You're required to notify the court if you've had any change of address until the completion of the case. Not receiving the notification due to the wrong address will not be an excuse for not attending court, and a bench warrant could be issued for your arrest and your bond revoked. You have a right to request a jury trial, and a jury trial would be judged by a jury of your peers as opposed to a bench trial with a judge. You have a right to be present at your trial, and you need to be aware the trial will proceed in your absence should you fail to attend. And in general sessions court, if you do not appear, you can be fined an additional $5,000 and 5 years in jail. If your charges are dismissed, or if you're found not guilty, if they're not crossed, you may request to have your record expunged, which means it'll be taken off your record like nothing has ever happened. Do you fully understand your rights and responsibilities I've gone over this morning?
Yes.
Okay. At this time,
This is Ms. Blazewski was fled. Oh, Your Honor, we have no recommendation as far as bond.
okay. All right. Thank you. And then, Counselor, would you like to address the
Yes, Your
court
Honor.
this
Will
time?
Lewis, and may it please the court, and I apologize for sitting down and not standing and speaking to the court. It's the only way I can get in your screen.
The cameras are a little messed up, I know. Thank you.
The position that they've taken in under 17 or 1510, we're entitled to recognizance bond on her own recognizance, absent showing that she's a danger to the community or risk of flight. She lives here. She turned herself in. We found out about these charges last night. We're here right now. So we'd be asked that she's released on her own recognizance.
All right. All right. Ms. Hill, are you currently on probation, parole, or out on bond now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and then, how long have you lived at your address?
25 years.
Okay, all right. I do not find you to be a flight risk or danger to the community at this time. Before I set your bond, I must apply stipulations of the bond, and if you break any of these, it can result in revoking your bond, and you'd be subject to remain in jail until your case has been called to trial. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, you must appear at all your court dates. You need to keep the peace. In other words, stay out of trouble. Because I do not find you a flight risk or a danger to the community, you are entitled to a PR bond. I'm going to give you a PR bond of $10,000 per charge for a total of $30,000, and that'll do it. Thank you all for being present and so attentive. But Ms. Hill, before I sign off, do you have any questions or anything you want to ask?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, yes, sir. I see you, Mr. Lewis.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry to bring up this right now. There is one issue that we were hoping to resolve. There is a Richland County warrant for perjury related to the obstruction warrant at 166. We would ask, and I have the agents, and I'll confirm this with Solicitor Hubbard, who has the case, as well as SLED. I've also reached out to Judge Scott's office in Richland County, and they are okay with this. We would ask under 22-5-190, which establishes your powers, Your Honor, that you endorse that warrant for it to be served here. And what that will allow you to do, Your Honor, under State v. Ravens, is set her bond on that here. And that would just avoid us from having to go all the way to Richland County and all the processing and perhaps not be there till 9 p.m. just for some paperwork. And I've confirmed with all parties that they have no issue. I do think from a practical perspective, and this is why we wanted to talk to you, once you endorse the warrant and they serve it on her, there might be like 5 minutes of paperwork to do, kind of like what we did this morning, and then we'd reissue the bond. So I was hoping Your Honor would be open to that. It's also permissible under your bench book at page 35, the 2011 bench book, and I've got an Attorney General opinion as well that I'm happy to provide the court for this authority.
Okay, I got word that you were possibly going to ask that, and I'm not inclined to do that. I've talked to our Chief Justice here. We want to keep this simple. We want to keep it within our jurisdiction, and so I'm not going to do that today. We're sorry for the inconvenience, but we're not here for convenience. Okay?
I hear you.
All right. Thank you all for coming, and good luck to you all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.